Imagine stepping into a place where the walls themselves seem to breathe, where the air feels heavy as if weighed down by decades of secrets, and every creak in the floorboard sounds like someone following just out of sight. This is the haunted asylum, a setting so entrenched in horror movies that we almost take it for granted. But the truth is, these places weren't just born from the imagination of filmmakers. They were real, and their real histories were far darker than anything Hollywood could dream up. From the earliest days of cinema, madness fascinated storytellers. Films like The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari and Bedlam didn't just use mental illness as a backdrop, they made it the central terror. Slowly, the image of the asylum emerged, endless corridors looping back on themselves, cold tile floors that echoed with unseen footsteps, and locked rooms with barred windows that seemed to watch you back. Asylums terrify us for a simple reason. You don't just wander into one, you're sent there and someone else decides when or if you leave. That loss of control is the purest form of fear. You are trapped, surrounded by those labeled mad, but who might understand more than they let on, and by staff whose kindness could be nothing more than a mask. In the 19th and early 20th centuries, these fears weren't fiction. Asylums were overcrowded, underfunded, and often cruel. Electroshock therapy without anesthesia. Lobotomies performed by the dozens. Ice baths that left patients gasping and screaming. And sometimes, being committed required nothing more than angering the wrong family member. Once inside, many never saw the outside world again. As time passed, abandoned hospitals became fertile ground for ghost stories. People whispered about shadows drifting in the halls, disembodied voices behind locked doors, and flickering lights in buildings long since stripped of electricity. Filmmakers didn't need to invent horror, they just turned on the cameras. Movies like Hellbound, Hellraiser 2 and A Nightmare on Elm Street 3 blurred the lines between real cruelty and supernatural dread, making the asylum a place where both kinds of horror lived side by side. And maybe that's why this setting has never died. The haunted asylum is more than a backdrop. It's a symbol of neglect, of cruelty, and of the terrifying idea that society could forget you exist. Even now, when you walk alone through a long, empty hallway, you can't help but wonder, are the footsteps behind you real? Or just echoes from the past? In our next episode, we'll step inside the walls and see what life was really like in a working asylum, the schedules, the sounds, the smells, and the moments that blurred the line between treatment and torment. Until then, some walls keep things out, others keep things in.